Sorry, part two. I accidentally pressed stop on the screen. So this is part two of the video. I was talking about Chris Kreider and whether or not they should trade him. He doesn't have an enormous salary. He makes $6.5 million, which isn't punitive. It isn't preventing the team from improving the other areas if they're able to get rid of Trouba and dump that salary. But I'm encouraged that clearly the hierarchy has had enough. They're starting to see what us older fans, like it seems like the older fans are the more intelligent fans. The younger fans tend to be enamored with stats, analytics, fancy plays, tic-tac-toe passes. I saw quite a few tweets yesterday, presumably from younger fans saying, "We made the Eastern Conference Finals twice in 3 years. Now we have a 12-6-1 record. Why are you all complaining? Nothing makes you guys happy." We're not complaining. We're telling it like it is. This team stinks. And the only reason why they have such a good record is because their goalies have been giving you elite goaltending. But of late, their goaltending has slipped, as we predicted it would. You cannot sustain that level of goaltending. Igor Shesterkin is not Dominik Hasek circa 1999. Jonathan Quick is not Jonathan Quick of 2012. These goalies have given you everything that they can give, but they can't stop everything. And they certainly can't provide offense. As many times as Shesterkin tries his outlet passes, which never connect, it always ends up in a turnover or an icing. The Rangers' problems are systemic. There is no leadership. There is no drive to be better than your opponent on this team. They have a handful of great players who will do great things and win a game. That's the way it's been throughout this run with this core. You don't watch this Ranger team and say, wow, they're a really well-coached team. They have tremendous structure. They have tremendous depth. They really play off each other well. That's not how they win. They win because Panarin is elite. Fox is elite. Zibanejad used to be elite. Lafreniere is climbing the elite ladder. And let me just say something about Vinny Trocheck. What the heck has happened to him? We complain about Zibanejad, and rightfully so. But Vinny Trocheck has 10 points in 20 games. He's a -2, 4 goals. It seems like he's complaining about officiating more than he's actually providing offense. All the guy does is take dives and then complain to the officials that there wasn't a call. I don't know what's happened with him, but so many guys have just fallen off the ladder. Not just Zibanejad, but Trocheck as well. And you look at Riley Smith, 3 goals in 20 games, 11 points. I know you don't look at him as the guy that is going to carry the team, but he's been all in all disappointing. Of course, Trouba is just a nightmare. He stinks. No goals, 6 assists. Keandre Miller has 1 goal. That was that fluky goal in the home opener where he shot the puck and it rimmed around the boards and hit some sort of partition or whatever and then went into the net. And, Miller was putting up some pretty good offensive numbers throughout his career. I mean, he was building up a nice offensive resume. As we look back in his career, he had 20 points, then 43 points, and then 30 points. Now he has 4 points in 20 games. He's on pace for 16 points. That's not going to cut it. Not for a guy that's looking to score a big, huge contract. In the 22-23 season, he had 9 goals, 34 assists, 43 points, was a +12 in 79 games. I mean, he was an up-and-coming star in this league. And now it's just, his stock has plummeted. It seemed like last year, almost every player on the team had a career year. And it seems like this year, almost every player on the team is having a down year. They're getting nothing from the fourth line. Sam Carrick scored the first goal of the season in Pittsburgh, hasn't scored since. I know you don't look at him for offense, but Jimmy Vesey, come on, 2 goals. I never understood the love affair with Jimmy Vesey. He to me is like a 13th, 14th forward. Brodzinski, 1 goal. Edstrom, 1 goal. To me, Edstrom is a bit of a disappointment only because, from a physical aspect, as I pull up his stats, he's 6'6", 241 pounds. He is a football player playing hockey. And he needs to use his size and his speed to get in there on the forecheck and be physically dominant. And he hasn't been. He hasn't been at all. For someone that big, he needs to use his size more, and he just doesn't. He should be impossible to knock off the puck, but he's not. You can knock him off the puck fairly easily. And, Lindgren, again, he was always steady with Fox, but ever since he's been paired with Trouba, he's been a disaster. You go up and down this lineup, and then you do have the guys that have been playing well, like Zach Jones, like Braden Schneider. Of course, Will Cooley he's second on the team in scoring. Second in points, second in goals scored, plus 11, with no power play time. It's all even strength. Lafreniere, he's a -8. He signed his extension. I think we need more from him too, even though he's been okay. 16 points, 20 games. 14 of those points at even strength, 2 on the power play. They're going through it right now, and I don't see how they get out of this. The only thing I can possibly see is that their goalies continue to steal a few more wins, and that gives them the confidence that they need to start playing better. I think, I made a comment on Twitter that this is reminding me of the 92-93 season, in which 91-92 they won the President's Trophy, had a disappointing early playoff exit against Pittsburgh, series they should have won. They were up 2-1. Lost Game 4 in overtime. Lost Games 5 and Game 6. Gee, sounds familiar, right? Isn't that what happened last year against Florida? Lost Game 4 in overtime. Then lost Game 5 and 6 and the series. 92-93, they had the expectations. Everybody thought that was their year, and they got off to a really good start. And then cracks started to show, and slowly but surely they started to lose control of the season, which led to the firing of Coach Roger Nielsen. And then they made some trades. They traded Chris King and Ty Domi for Eddie Olchuk. They traded Doug Weight for Esa Tikkanen. And they tried in earnest to win and they didn't even make the playoffs that year. And that was back when you had, you had divisional playoff formats, and 4 of the 6 teams in the Patrick division made the playoffs, and they missed the playoffs. The way things are going for this Ranger team, and again, you make these trades. You trade Trouba, you trade Kreider. Okay, great. Who are you bringing in to replace them? If you're able to trade Trouba, you're not getting much in return. If you're able to trade Kreider, again, you're not getting great compensation. Because who's going to trade for Chris Kreider and take on his salary for 2 more seasons after this season when the guy just has 0 all-around game? All he basically does is tip pucks home, knock pucks into empty nets. I mean, that's his game. And that's what he's done successfully. He's built a successful NHL career with those attributes. But all in all, who's going to give up premium prospects or a first-round pick or whatever for Kreider? You trade these guys, great. Who's going to replace them? They don't have anybody in Hartford that's ready to replace them. Brennan Hoffman is still hurt, and he wasn't even good enough to make the team out of training camp. This is going to be a tough sledding for this team for the next few weeks. Peter Laviolette, a successful head coach, doesn't seem to have any answers. He's trying to change lines. He's trying to change defense pairings. He's trying to mix things up, and it's not working. And you're not going to fire Laviolette, okay? Please, just some of you want him fired. He's not getting fired. I don't know how this team gets fixed. This team has no leadership. This team has no structure. They have no gumption. They have no urgency in their game. They're just going through the motions, hoping and waiting for Panarin to do something special, for Fox to do something special. And when they don't win. And when the goalies don't stop everything, they don't win. So this is a very tumultuous time for the Rangers. And sure, there's plenty of time to right the ship. There's plenty of time to figure things out. But I don't see any evidence of that happening, because there's really not much that they can do. If this team gets fixed, it has to come from inside that locker room. And again, this team just has no leadership, none. All right, that's our video for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk again soon.